Meet Rob Karner, science teacher and watershed biologist for the Glen Lakes Association. Through 15 years of sampling, Rob has observed an increasing delay in lake turnover. That is, the mixing of shallow and deep waters that normally occurs in the fall. We talked with Rob at his home in the Glen Lake watershed.
I started out my career as a teacher at a boarding school, and about halfway through my career I learned about the Glen Lake Association looking for a lake biologist. And so I said to myself, that's for me. So I was full-time teacher and half-time watershed biologist, which actually is the term that it evolved into. So I had the perfect mix. I had the mix of being able to bring my students into the real science world. And in my class time, I taught a special class called freshwater ecology. So when I had tasks at hand for the Glen Lake Association, I brought my students along and we learned together. One of the big changing points was acquiring a hydrolab, which we then began to, like a paper route, go every 2 weeks to the same 10 sampling stations for a period of now almost 15 years. And we've gathered and managed this data set, and what we've noticed is the bottom of the lake on Big Glen, it's a big volume lake, 140 feet deep. That's when the oxygen depletion started to show up in delayed fashion, and we think that it might be attributed to the climate change that we're experiencing. What happens with climate change is the upper waters are warmer longer into October and extending into November, so it doesn't cool as fast, but when it does, the water gets heavy and it sinks to the bottom of the lake and recharges that dead zone at the bottom of Big Glen. So you get back to normal oxygen levels by mid-November, later than, say, it's a month off in its timing. And those minute shifts in the sort of overall balance of the ecosystem can be problematic because organisms aren't adapted to being in position of being oxygen deprived when for eons they've always had the oxygen. So those little tweaks have maybe caused problems that we don't know about.